Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled, The Most High Hates Christmas. My source is WAPT.com. This article is entitled, Dad Dies After Falling from Roof While Hanging Christmas Lights. This article was published on December the 4th, 2019, and it states, a North Texas community is grieving after a man fell from a roof while hanging Christmas lights. According to KTBT, Felipe Gallegos was putting up lights on the roof. His wife, Alicia Flick, and their 17-year-old son were sitting in their car at the time. And this is a picture of Mr. Gallegos. And more than likely, he was from the Northern Kingdom. And I'm just saying that from the association of his name. We heard a loud noise, and I got out and went over to the side of the house, Flick said. He was laying on the concrete saying, help me, help me. Gallegos was taken to a hospital with a skull fracture and a brain bleed. My son kept saying, Dad, if it hurts, just squeeze my hand, Flick said. And he squeezed my son's hand, and then all of a sudden, he quit breathing. Gallegos was rushed into emergency surgery, but did not survive. Now his wife and son are trying to make sense of life without him. Together, the family ran a business washing windows during the year and hanging Christmas lights in the winter. On top of his work, Flick said Gallegos went above and beyond for his family and friends. It didn't matter what time or where. He was always there to help somebody, Flick said. That kindness is now being returned. The community has raised more than $40,000 for the family in just 2 days. Flick said Gallegos promised her if something ever happened to him, they would be okay. For him to make this statement, he felt something in his spirit. With everybody who's reached out and all the support we've gotten, I just tell myself, he was right, Flick said. We are going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. If you are an Israelite, you do not celebrate Christmas. Christmas goes back to Nimrod, who was a heathen. Okay, and he was from the tribe of Ham. And this is more proof, and like I said, this is more proof that the Most High hates Christmas. Dad dies after falling from roof while hanging Christmas lights. Let's start with Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. This is the Most High speaking through the prophet Amos. And Christmas is considered a feast day. People gather on that day in a family unit, in most cases, to eat and receive and hand out gifts. And the Most High is saying that I hate your feast days. Why? Because this is a heathenistic tradition. And if you are Israelites, you do not supposed to celebrate Christmas because it has nothing to do with the Holy Scriptures. Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. The Holy Scriptures are only for the holy nation, which is the house of Israel, beginning with the elect at this time frame. You so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Hispanic tribes, you are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is based on if your father's lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, celebrating Christmas, hanging up Christmas lights, Giving gifts on Christmas is the way of the heathen, and not the way of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain, for one cut a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. The Most High is telling us that cutting a tree out of the forest to celebrate Christmas is a vain custom, and it's from the heathen. When a person goes into the forest and use an axe or a chainsaw to cut down a tree and place that tree in their household, and now you have people that have artificial trees where they go into their attic, bring the tree down, put it together. Once that bullshit is over, they break the tree down, place it back in the box, and take the box back into the attic. Verse 4, they deck it with silver and with gold, meaning the tree. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Right, because once it's fastened with the nails and with the hammer, this promotes the stability. Now the tree can stand alone. Okay? And if you have an artificial tree, you put that tree inside that little tripod or tree pod, whatever. But the point of that is to promote stability so that tree can stand alone and stand tall. Verse 5, they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not right. They don't speak. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Meaning you have to pick that tree up and take it in your house, and you have to pick that tree up and take it out of your house. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Right, because it was a saying that if you had a Christmas tree and if you didn't place gifts under that tree to appease the spirit of Nimrod, then that spirit would come in that house and kill everybody in the house. But the Most High is telling us, be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Ain't nothing going to happen. And anyway, you don't supposed to have it in your house in the first place. That's why it states, neither also is it in them to do good. This bullshit goes back to heathenistic ways, referring to Nimrod, who was from the tribe of Ham. This has nothing to do, regarding Christmas, has nothing to do with the Holy Scriptures. Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach. And Christmas is not after Mashiach. Christmas is after the rudiments of the world and after tradition of men. Let's focus on rudiments. In the Greek, Slakia.
Strong's G 4747, stoichion.
And when we get to the point, according to the lexicon, it states, such as are taught to the rudiments with which mankind were indoctrinated before the time of Mashiach, which means Jeremiah 10:1. But let's go to 3. Jeremiah 10:3. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cut a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. So now they try to associate Christmas with the birthday of Yahushua. No, Yahushua was born in the spring, which is the beginning of the year. okay, according to biblical doctrine, when everything is green. Christmas goes back to Nimrod and not of Yahushua. People were practicing this custom prior to Yahushua's arrival on earth. That is the reason why the Most High hates the feast days such as Christmas. And like I said before, Yahushua was born in the spring, the beginning of the year, when everything is green, because there's life, okay, during the springtime. All right? So Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.